Welcome everyone, this is the second episode of JCP Talks. Let's roll that intro. Blade Runner 2049. It's the sequel to the first Blade Runner, which came out in 1988, starring Harrison Ford, and this one stars Ryan Gosling and also Harrison Ford in this one. Some first things that I want to talk about is something that drew a lot of people away from seeing this movie was the length of it, and it goes at, I want to say, 2 hours and 44 minutes long, which is very long for a movie. It's more like reading a book. It's about 300 pages long. It's a while, but this one, it pulls it off perfectly. There were no times in this movie where I was like getting bored of it or anything and just wanted to leave. This movie just kept me on the edge of my seat the whole time. And if that's something that's discouraging you from seeing this movie, I would just say go see it. You're not going to be disappointed with how long it is. It's a really good movie, and it never drags on anything. Also, this movie is directed by the same director who directed Arrival, Sicario, and Prisoners, and also Enemy, which are all four great movies that have came out within like the past about 5 years. He's probably one of the top tier directors, especially working now, who's newer in this, and every single one of his movies that I've personally seen so far have been very good and amazing, and this one is no different from any of those. It's just great acting, great cinematography too. This one, especially on the exterior, it's really dark and gritty, but it looks so good, especially in the dust when he goes in the city in LA. It just looks amazing, and it's beautiful. But this movie, it stars Ryan Gosling as as Officer K, and also Harrison Ford once again as his original self. And this one, it's all the acting and everything in this, especially the enemies that you'll find, they're just very good, and they just, especially the enemies, they make you just hate them, and you know what's going on, but you just have to stay with Officer K, and you'll see what happens. It's really good, and everyone who's acting in this movie is amazing. Ryan Gosling, I just want to touch on him a little bit, because every single time I see him in a movie, I never really expect it to be a certain genre. You know, he's been in serious, more like action thriller movies, kind of like Drive, also Place Beyond the Pines as well, and then he'll be in a romance or a musical or a comedy like La La Land or The Notebook, or recently also Nice Guys, which he was great in every single one of those. Ryan Gosling is one of those guys that you can, if you see him in any type of movie, there's a very good chance that he's gonna do very well. And even if the movie isn't great, I'm sure that all of the acting in every single one of his movies that I've seen are just very good. And every single time I see that he's in a new movie, I'm just pumped, because I know how good of an actor he is. And Harrison Ford in this is probably his best role in a really long time, and differing from the original Blade Runner, he is just as good. He comes in later in the movie, but as much time as he is in that movie, he's just phenomenal. Another thing that I want to talk about is just how this movie represents itself. Like, it's the original, it was more of a cult classic, but this one, it was just done so well, and there were very few parts where I felt like they didn't need, but coming from the original director, Ridley Scott, who you can tell was all over this and really wanted it to go and be well done. He wasn't directing, obviously, but he was one of the executive producers in this movie. And this movie, it's very good, even for the length, which is, I know a lot of people are talking about that, and it's not something that you need to ever worry about, because it never slows down at any part of it. It always just makes you keep on wanting more. And this movie, if you're kind of worried about seeing it is since it's a sequel. This one, it's a sequel, but it's not gonna be really confusing for you if you haven't seen the first one. I know that the first one did have a lot of hidden things in it. None of those make you have to see the first one to see this one, but that's also something I would like to talk about, is the amount of hidden, just little things that you can see that make you just want to watch the movie over and over again. That was the case with the original one, and that is the case with this one. You want to see this one a lot of times because there's just so many things in there that you cannot miss for like the first viewing, and then you go see it the second time and you'll catch more, and so on and so forth. But if you haven't seen this movie yet, I would highly recommend it. It's a very well done movie, and everyone in it is doing their best, and the cinematography and everything about this movie is very good. I'm going to give this one a 10 out of 10. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. This is my first official review besides the Baby Driver one that I did back in June or July. So I want to start doing more movie reviews, as well as some maybe TV show reviews, maybe a Lucifer season 1 through 3 coming at the end of this next season. If you guys want me to review any certain movies, especially for Halloween coming next week, leave your comments down below, and I will do my best to go see those or find them on DVD, or if they're not in theaters right now. But I give this one great movie. Go see it if you haven't, and thank you for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you next video.